Welcome back to Movie Nerds, folks. On today's episode, we are going to be reviewing The Last of Us episode 4. Place your hand on mine. No, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what that is. Anyways, welcome back. Folks, we are breaking news before we get started. LeBron James, the hypocrite LeBron James, has officially broken the all-time scoring leader. I guess I said in the NBA. He surpassed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who's been holding that record for the last 30-something years. So
what's the new record?
I don't know. I didn't watch the game. I got all these texts from my buddy because I love basketball, but I might be the only one in the world that probably doesn't think this is that impressive. Not because it's not great, but because once LeBron's done with his career, no one's going to think of him as a scoring leader. They're going to think of him as he's a four-time champion. He's a four-time MVP. Those are the accolades that people are going to talk about more than the scoring. Because, folks, I can tell you right now, most people didn't even know Kareem had the record until LeBron was close to the breaking the record. Yeah, then you realize, Kareem had it. And when we were talking about Kareem, no one ever talks about his scoring leader
most
points.
Career points in NBA history.
Yeah, no one talks about that because he had 6 championships. He has 6 MVP that people talk about more than anything. And the only thing that when we say Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the first thing people goes to is the sky hook, because no one does that anymore. It's the most unstoppable shot ever. And I say ever because you cannot stop it. There's no defense to stop it. So I don't know why people still don't. But anyways, most of you, my viewer, if you listen to me in the past, I have talked about how much I do not like LeBron James as a person. I truly believe he's a hypocrite. I truly believe that what he stands for, his social justice, is a fraud, because if it doesn't have to do with his money, he'll say stuff about it. But if it hurts his wallet, he'll be like, "Oh, I don't know. I don't want to talk about it. I don't know enough information." Yeah, you hypocrite, you piece of crap. Anyways, but I like to congratulate him on breaking this so-called longevity record that he, So, okay, before we
move on, a little over 38,000 points.
Yeah, let me tell you why I don't think this record is that impressive. Because no matter what you say, people are going to think he's the GOAT, and nothing's going to change their mind. And I'm not here to change people's mind. Michael Jordan is the GOAT. If you take a poll, if you take a survey, most will say Michael Jordan. I would probably say 70% will say Michael Jordan, and the 30% will say LeBron. And I'm not trying to convince that. I think no matter what, there's no convincing. You're going to think who's the GOAT. That's fine. But you know what's more impressive is, let me ask you a question, Dave. I don't know if you know anything about basketball, but I know this. We will get to The Last of Us. I promise, folks.
How another many variety show?
How many 3-pointers did Kareem Abdul-Jabbar score?
I don't know, a handful.
One.
Okay.
How many did LeBron James score? The 3-pointer.
20.
I don't have the number in front of me, but it's over 2,000 3-pointers.
What?
So what's more impressive, Kareem's record or LeBron?
Well, how many? I guess how many games is that over? How many shots? Like, what's the? I would want to see the shot, like accuracy and average. Like,
it doesn't matter.
Made versus missed.
It doesn't matter. What's more? 3-pointers or 2-pointers?
3-pointers are worth
more.
Thank
you.
So fewer. Are you saying fewer shots?
So that means that if LeBron James only hit 1 threes, this record would never be his. That's how impressive Kareem is. He only hit 2 pointers.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
He only hit 2 pointers. Remember that. So that's more impressive. And so it doesn't matter. I got LeBron as not
But
He's out.
isn't the 3-point shot a more difficult shot?
No,
Farther away.
not these days, man. It's everybody's raining threes like crazy. It's just ridiculous. I can shoot
No
threes
one
now.
wants to drive in, huh?
No, well, LeBron is doing that now because he's LeBron. Here's the thing, though. He's a terrible 3-point shooter, but because he played so long, he has more
that was the
chance to
other
make
thing I
them.
was gonna. That's the other thing I was gonna ask. Like, how long did Kareem play versus how long has LeBron been on the court?
They pretty much play about the same years, I believe. I think
So it
Kareem
took
played
about
20.
the same to get that scoring record.
Probably. A lot of times people will say he's the GOAT because he has all this, but a lot of times people don't realize Kareem, he played more game than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So it took Kareem less.
Fewer games.
Fewer games. It took Michael Jordan less to get what he got and LeBron to get what he had. And he still hasn't catch up to Michael Jordan. So please don't get people. Get out of my face if you think LeBron's the GOAT. I can't talk to you serious about basketball. You can have all the records, but what matters is the accolades: championship, MVP, defensive player of the year, scoring titles, and all that stuff. You don't think Michael Jordan could have broken this record if he plays in this era?
If he played longer, yeah. Oh yeah, or if
in this era,
yeah.
You can't even hand check. Defense is soft. You get you as Stephen A. Smith says, you can get called for a foul for passing gas. So that's how soft this NBA league is. And so, anyways,
okay, all right. I guess.
But anyways, congratulations, LeBron James.
It's like men's soccer these days, huh?
It's exactly.
People boom. Flopping on the court.
Amen. That's exactly correct. Anyways, let's leave that. Congratulations, LeBron. Those who think he's the GOAT, you are wrong, but that's okay. You wonder where I rank him? Well, folks, I got him at number 6 on my best of all time. He's not even in top 5.
Higher than I thought you'd have him. He's at least in your top 10.
I can understand that he is a great basketball player. He is.
Just don't like him as a person.
Just don't like him as a person. Anyway, let's move on.
That's fair. All right.
Let's move on to what we're here for. What is the episode called?
It's Please Hold My Hand.
Please Hold My Hand. It's the episode 4 of The Last of Us. I'm gonna go and say this is a very important episode because now we get finally the element of what the game is. It's not about the fireflies. It's not even about the infected. It's not about 2 gay people in love. It's not.
No.
The relationship of Ellie.
I was gonna say this is they're actually bonding now.
They are.
It's Ellie that does it.
Well, I mean, she breaks the ice.
She does break the ice.
So
she's persistent about it.
Mm-hmm. Just like he is, as he says it in the car. I'm a very persistent person.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
So let's catch up. Episode 4. Give me your first impression. What did you think of the episode? And what was something that you like, and what's your thoughts on it?
You already touched on it, but I like seeing Joel get broken down a little bit and seeing that relationship between Joel and Ellie develop. That was fun, and I love a good pun. You know, a good pun is its own reword.
The only time I laugh at those jokes was the diarrhea one. It's a funny one.
It runs in your genes. It's a great one. It's a great one. So I like that. I don't know the actress's name, and I'm not sure what the character is, but she was the one that was pointing the gun at the doctor. She's the one that killed the doctor.
Oh, it's Kathleen. Her name is Kathleen in the thing. She's actually not in the game, but we'll talk about that more.
Okay.
She's a character. She's the character that was made up for this show.
Oh, okay. Okay. I wouldn't have known any different. The only thing I didn't like was I found her, and I don't know. I think we need to see more of her, but the character wasn't quite as believable as someone that I guess her portrayal of that character wasn't super believable for me. But the intensity of like the situations they found themselves in, and I don't know if this is like him kind of just not thinking so far ahead as what a character like Joel normally would. But when it came to that blockade and he looked through and she's like, how far? And he's like, oh, we'll just go around, rather than thinking that barrier is placed there for a reason. And then they end up in this trap. So I don't know if that's the character just breaking his guard down or lowering his guard a little bit with the Ellie character, but that's what it seemed like to me. And if that's what they're going for, they did a great job. And the situation they ended up in, wow, that was pretty intense. And like we see what this world has come to, and it's an element that you see in a lot of post-apocalyptic movies and TV shows.
It is.
So you got these people that set traps especially to get people that are stocked up on supplies.
Yeah, and you know what? That was my favorite shot of the episode.
That was
that when they get to that bridge and there was a blockade, and he walks in and he looks down and there's just open road.
Yeah,
but they're stuck there. All they need to just go past that and they're just free.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was there for a reason, and that is it's a trap. It was a trap for people to go around that they can do it. So it was my favorite shot because meant like, there's your hope.
Yeah,
that's your hope. That through that little inch hole,
it's like basically a straight shot to Wyoming,
out of Kansas City, and so it was a beautiful shot. So let's catch anything else you were impressed on. Maybe let's catch up what's going on as we go. Then maybe we can talk about it even more. So now we came to episode 4. They got to the car.
Mm-hmm.
We see that they're on the road and they have to cipher gas, and you get this little interaction with them, and kind of like you were saying how Joel is being breaking down as he go, and you know she's trying that book is very important. We'll come back later.
Okay.
It came from somebody that she knows very well. In the game. Well, and at the end of this episode, I'm gonna tell you what the difference between the game and what's it called and the show. So, and then he's ciphering the gas and he's trying to explain and he doesn't really know how to do it.
How does that work? He's like, I don't really know how it works. I just know it works.
He
just trust me on this.
He's like pretended to be like like he was
explaining it,
an expert, and she just like call him out. I love it. And so, but we started off. Let's go back. Start off with her having the gun in the mirror.
Yeah.
And pointing that gun at her in the mirror. And isn't it interesting how she pulls a gun on her and it's kind of like she's pointing at her face. And in an episode, Joel has a gun in his face. So there's a little contrast within that. I saw my wife skipping away.
And parallels from the beginning and the ending of the episode. Yeah, okay.
So
I didn't catch that. Yeah.
So one of my favorite scenes is, of course, when they're driving and she's in the back and they got the magazine. That shot is so fun, and it's just like the game.
Really? Okay.
Exactly like the game.
Just little nuggets of Frank and who he was as a person.
And the dialogue is exactly the same.
Okay.
The only difference
pages stuck together.
Yeah, and so it was so funny, and he doesn't know how to explain it, and she's like, "I'm just effing with you." So she threw it out, and then they go and they come to that barricade part of the bridge, and they had to go around, and they come across these people who ask, they notice their loss, come to the queue of the quarantine zone that is empty. No one's there.
Yeah, there's like, where's Fedra?
I love the fact that it looks so real.
Yeah,
it looks eerie. Like it's like, and people. I just talked to my buddy John, and he said he hasn't watched it. He played the game. I know he played the game. He's the one that we talked about it, but he didn't want to watch the show because he didn't want to ruin the game. And I'm like, dude, it's not going to ruin the game. It actually gives it even more what's the word I'm looking for? Even more gravitas to the game.
Okay.
Because it gives you different story. and background stories and get humanize the bad guys. And I'll tell you how.
Yeah.
In the game, they don't really have any backstory of the bad guys. They're just there. And the fact that this is why I say this is a very important episode of this series, besides the fact that it's giving that the like it's like the game, it's their relationship, it's about them. They
Yeah.
actually make us care about the people who were trapping Joel and Ellie. I
Oh yeah.
mean, the gunfight. When go back and watch it again, when Joel killed that one guy, one of the guy, and the other guy go over there and it's like, you mother effer, and he went to check on him. He cared about that person. So
Yeah.
you get a sense it's not really, there's no really bad guy in this world.
Yeah. Everyone's just fighting for survival.
That conversation Joe and Ellie have as they're going up the stairs, he said,
Mm-hmm.
Joe understood. She asked him, how did you know he was doing that? And I'm like, I told my wife, he's not a good guy. In the game, they start out killing people to get batteries.
Yeah, and she straight up asked them if you killed innocent people.
Well, he kind of skipped over that. He didn't even answer it. Yeah,
he did.
So they're trapped, and now they're just going around the street. One of my favorite scene again is when they're sitting in that room waiting. Everybody's going searching for Henry and Sam, which is a very important character in the game. They taught him how to hold the gun. That was my favorite. That was, well, first of all, we had a fight scene.
For those of you that are interested in handguns, that is legit advice.
That was legit.
So
that was legit.
It was good firearms handling instruction.
Yeah. And so,
except, didn't follow all of the rules of firearm handling, but that's all
right. So you do get an intense moment of the gunfight. Joel got into that father mode. You look at me, go to that hole, they're not gonna hit you. Like he's so confident, and he's like, and Ellie listened to him. And like, here's the difference between Ellie and his daughter. And I think if his daughter would have been there, okay, so they were shooting each other. He got caught off guard. Another guy came from the back and almost choked him, and Ellie had to come and save him with her gun that she stole.
She
shot him. Now, in the game, it was different, but we'll talk about it. Shoots him, but here's the thing. Oh man, I feel bad for that kid.
Yeah, his attitude completely flipped.
But that's what I mean, is they're not bad guys. They're just there to survive. They're trying to do everything. Yeah. So it's kind of like they humanize these people in these compound. You understand what they're doing. And I love the fact that said Joel told Ellie to go back in the hole.
Yeah.
And Ellie knew exactly what he was going to do, but she listened to Joel and said, I'm going. Like when she turned around, that kid knew he was going to die.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Yeah, that was intense. That was an intense scene.
And then you get that scene with him and Ellie in that little store. I don't know what the building, when he's asking her, like, look, it shouldn't be you. And he apologized.
I'm sorry that you have to deal with this at your age.
Yeah.
She's like, so as you get older, it's easier.
He said no. I love that conversation. And Billy, oh, what's her name to play Ellie? I
don't know.
Bella Ramsey, that's her name.
Is that her name?
Yeah. The fact that she can, great acting. When they're waiting and he asked her, hey, are you okay? And she's like, pretend she's not, but then she finally broke her, let her guard down, and she started to cry. Oh, excuse me. The shift in her face expression.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
great acting. Yeah. And I love that scene. Let me ask you a question. Do you feel like when you watch this episode, did you feel any, since you haven't played the game and I played the game, so I know what's going to happen. Did you feel like when they're going through this town that one of them could be hurt or die in this town? Did you get the sense of that type of intense or that type of like, oh man, can they survive? Like, I know exactly what's gonna happen, but
right, yeah. Well, here's the thing. Like, I guess I didn't, just because, and these are the two main characters, and we're in episode 4, so I'm not expecting one of them to die, but the threat was real.
the threat was
And when
real.
that guy caught him off guard, that was probably the most intense there that
Yeah.
it was. That's the closest it came. And they did a good job portraying like the reality of a world like this.
Yeah.
Like how easily you can be caught off guard twice in this episode.
It is twice.
You drop your guard and say, "We'll just take a quick shortcut around this," or you're looking one way and they've got another corner covered. So I think that they did a really good job in this episode of showing kind of what, when you get to a populated area and then in a world like this, is going to be like. So
yeah. And then we meet the leader of the compound. These compound, I don't want to call them bad guys because they're not really bad people. They're not really bad guys.
They're people.
So they gave these guys a backstory. In the game, they don't. So now you kind of humanize these people and they're like, you understand what they're doing. And that is so brilliant. And this is why I think this is the best adaptation of video games into a show, because bad guys are there. We know bad guys are bad guys, but when they believe what they're doing right, that makes them even more of a threat and more dangerous. And Kathleen, this I don't know the actress name. She's been around.
Melanie Linsky. Yeah, she's been around.
Yeah, she was in Sweet Home Alabama. That was my first introduction to her. She was good in that. And so, but she was, I don't know if she could have played that kind of, leader. Like, she doesn't seem ruthless, but it's always the quiet one that is it's like the most dangerous.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point.
She oh man, that scene with the doctor had a gun in his head, and he said, "I delivered you."
Yeah,
and the fact
she's like, don't care.
Well, I don't know if she did care or not at that point.
Yeah.
So when all this commotion happened, she goes outside. The first question she asked,
who's she looking for? Her husband and son?
No. Okay, we're gonna get into that. Okay. So she goes and she sees the dead body, and the first question she asked was, "Would a doctor help?"
Oh yeah.
And then I'm like, "What?" So she's saying she's trying to rationalize herself, like, if they don't need if he said he doesn't need a doctor, he can't help. Why do I want to keep him alive?
Why does anybody need a doctor at this point?
She goes back and just point blank shoots him. Like, that is a cold killer. And it's somebody, and it seems like these people respect her and understand who she is and what she's about. Now,
yeah, even the militant
people,
like her security or whoever these guys are.
The main guy, the guy with the beard.
Yeah.
Now, here's a fun fact. He's actually the voice of Tommy in the game, the brother.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was that Perry? Was that guy's name?
I don't know what his name is, to be honest, but he's the one that went to the basement with her and found the little crack. Yeah.
Yeah. And she's like, let's not tell anybody now. And he's like, okay, whatever you say.
That's going to be hell coming up there, because in the game, I'll talk about it later. As I keep going, but so he's the voice of Tommy in the game. So that's cool that they have it in there.
That's another thing I liked about this episode, is we got a little bit more backstory on Tommy, what kind of person he is.
So he's the one that went into the army, not Joel. I thought Joel went in too, but I guess it wasn't. So I was wrong there. But so she's looking for somebody who snitched, I guess her kids and her husband, somebody who she'd care for, to the Fed or whatever, those group of people who they're overthrown.
Yeah.
And she's looking for Henry and Sam. So these are two kids who in the game that meets Joe and Ellie, but the way they meet them is different than what the game is. And I'll tell you what happened.
Okay.
So you'll get a glimpse in episode 5 who they are. They are going to help them. They are going to be allies, and they played a very important role.
Henry and Sam.
So apparently Kathleen is looking for them, and there's a and this is new in the game, because Kathleen is a new character. She's not in the game. They made her up to humanize and to give these guys some backstory. what do they call it, antagonists or protagonists?
Antagonist, bad guys, the antagonists.
I thought it was pro. Yeah, yeah, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
To be the
Good
main
guys are
villain.
pro,
Yeah,
bad
yeah.
guys are anti.
So we'll know why. Oh, apparently, according to Kathleen, they did something to her and her family to love him because she honestly, even though she doesn't care about anything except for revenge, and it seems like Henry and Sam is in that part of her revenge plan, and then you get them going up the stairs, and then they sleep, and they had the little moment with the joke. The diarrhea joke is my favorite, and so. But then then they he woke up. Now, gotta remember, guys, how can Joel let them what's it called? Get what's the word I'm looking for? An up on him, or like,
How
put it
come Joel dropped his guard?
draw his guard. Well, remember, this all happened in one day. And the night before they got into Kansas City, he was up all night protecting Ellie in the forest. So he didn't get any sleep. And they drove for 13 hours. 13 hours. And on top of that, they were going up the stairs. I don't know how many floors. What do they say? Like 40 something,
So
maybe more.
that's what he said.
Yeah, something like that. And so he
43 floors. How high we going? As far as I can.
If there was an earthquake, he wouldn't hear it. He was tired. And it didn't matter that he put all those glass in there. He would have slept through those glass because he was exhausted.
Which he did.
And so I love this episode. I think it's a very important episode. Like I said, it sets up what the game and what the relationship of Ellie and Joel is all about. This show, like I said, is not about the infected. It's not about the guy, the people on the compound. It's not about anybody. It's all about Ellie and Joel.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that it does. Look, last episode, you and I agreed was a great episode, but just not, it was
just
not,
didn't fit. Didn't drive the story much.
It wasn't necessary. Yeah. But I do like the fact that they there's a little nugget that's from the third episode. And I thought that was pretty clever. Like the Arby's. My favorite one was when they stop and they sleep in the forest, and Ellie was like, "Man, this sleeping bag smells good," and he goes, "That must be Frank's." Yeah, I thought that was funny. I thought it was clever, and so
it was good. So what's different? What did they change?
Okay, so you have anything else to talk about? Good.
I don't. No, I think we covered everything that I was thinking about in this episode. So
anything you didn't like about the episode, or better?
I think I kind of touched on it, but what's her name's portrayal of Kathleen? It started off kind of weak, but I don't know if that's what they were going for. So like I said, I think I need to see more of her in that role to make it a little more believable for me. So hopefully in the next episode or two, I get more of Kathleen and how and this actress's portrayal of her. So.
I think I'm okay with. I buy it because I don't think she was I don't think the character is trying to come off as his, like the governor, like in Walking Dead. You ever seen Walking Dead? You never seen Walking
Dead? Yeah, I've seen The Walking Dead.
Or Negan. She's not like those.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's the typical antagonist you get in like a zombie apocalypse.
She's more of like you believe she's doing something good, but at the same time, it's like she will do anything to get to what she wants, what her goal is.
Yeah, and she's willing to sacrifice lives easily to get what she wants.
She doesn't come off of this menacing, but she has that subtleness of like, I might be nice and stuff, but
So it seemed like, I guess this is another thing I thought about, but it seemed like she was not originally the leader of that community.
No, it didn't seem like either. It
seemed like she was in a different spot, and then there was a coup, and now she's in charge. So that's what it seems like.
And I think people believe in her, and it seems like those people who follow her knows who she is. It's like she was once part of the community, and now she's like leading them into that. And so, okay. Man, I forgot to tell people the beginning of this is a spoiler, but my thumbnail should tell you that it's spoilers. So sorry guys if you didn't know, but The difference in the game, beginning, not the siphon gas that never happened in the game.
Okay.
When the part that is shot by shot, like the game, was the car scene with the when she was in the back. When she threw out the magazine, though, the magazine flew out in the game and it lands on a sign that says "Welcome to Pittsburgh." So they actually went to Pittsburgh and not Kansas
That's
City.
it. Okay.
So I don't know why they changed it that. What else is the different? What else did I say? Sam and Henry are not. It seems like in the show, Sam and Henry are part of that community. They're not. They're actually travel. They were traveling to go to Boston or to somewhere, and they happened to just meet up in Pittsburgh. The way they made up though is different than what the show is. In the beginning of episode 2 or 3, was it 3? No, 2. Yeah, was it 2 or 3? I'm trying to think. When Tess got infected and bombed the place, that was the end of episode 2, I believe.
That was the end of episode 2.
So the game is they actually went in under tunnel and they actually went into that's how they got into Pittsburgh, was actually through the sewer, and that's how they meet Sam and Henry.
Okay.
In the game though, okay, the scene when Kathleen and her bodyguard, her number one guy, went down and see the floor pumping up. Well, in the game, what's underneath there, and it's all these infected is gonna pop out and eventually. And in the game, you fight a lot of those on the ground because there were people who were living under this underground and then got infected and they died. Wow. So that's the difference within the game. And so the narrative of the story is pretty much this is the relationship, but they change a lot of things in the sense of they can't really, because the bad guys in the game, they're not fireflies either. The bad guys, they're just mercenary who just killing people for no reason. I think that's about it. And so but other than that, like they already met Sam and Henry on ground level.
Okay.
Not 100%.
So we haven't. That's who it was at the end then? That was Sam and Henry.
That was them. Okay. Now I don't think Henry. I don't know who dies. I believe Henry dies in the end, but I think they might keep him alive in this one. We'll see, but I don't know if that's true. So, but yeah, so they changed a lot in this episode. They don't completely stick with what the video game is, but you know what? They can't.
Yeah, I was gonna. Well, let me ask: if they had stuck like very, very true to the game material,
it wouldn't work.
Why? So why wouldn't it work? I guess is my question.
Well, it's like
they wouldn't get the runtime, or
I think
you wouldn't get his depth.
Well, first of all, you wouldn't care about the bad guys. It's just a generic bad guy. They humanize it to show you that these are real people who are struggling in this world. And so I think that's they want the audience to understand. It's not like The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead is so different. You walk everywhere, and there's walkers everywhere. Yeah. Here, you don't get any infected anywhere.
Yeah,
like you don't see them, barely any. And I love
they're stuck under rubble, or they're.
I love that because it just shows you that they die off eventually. They don't. Walking Dead, it's like you walk everywhere and there's walkers. It's it's kind of like I like it, but at the same time, it's. The Walking Dead really show was never about The Walking Dead anymore. They set it up at the beginning, but then it became this one, the infected isn't the problem. It's the humans that are the issues in this one. The ideology of each different group believing what they believe is different than everybody else. And so that's the problem in this world we have. I don't think if they stick to the game, it's shot by shot, it wouldn't work. Because you wouldn't care about Frank, you wouldn't care about Bill. In the game, Joel never met Frank.
You mentioned that last time.
Joel didn't even know who Frank was until he saw a body hanging. Yeah, and then Bill told him that's Frank. It's like, you know him? Yeah, he was my partner. That's how I introduced Frank to Joel. Because Joel never met Bill or Frank, first of all, that only Tess. And so I think if they would have kept that shot by shot, it's just we wouldn't care much about the character. Not only we care about Ellie and Joel, we want to know what's around the world and the people around them as well. And so I love the way they're doing this. I don't see any issue with them changing it. It doesn't ruin the game for me. And I think I this show is better than Yellowstone. This show is better than, dare I say, House of Dragon.
Say no, what?
Yeah, man. I loved because there's so many things. It maybe because I haven't read the material of House of Dragon. I'm in the process of reading that or listening to it. So the season finale of House of Dragon is different than what the book is, but it's okay. Well, we don't talk about that. So, but yeah, so I know this. I know the original source material of this show, and I know exactly how it's going to go. But I love the fact that I actually care about the antagonist people. You know, I care about. I understand what they're doing, and so they have a reason for me to care enough that they're a threat to Joel and Ellie. And so it's going to be crazy how I wonder how much they're going to change with Ellie. Now, just so you know, this Sunday is Super Bowl, but they're not releasing it Sunday, folks. Episode 5 is coming on Friday.
Oh, really?
Friday.
Okay.
So get ready. We're gonna review it, and then we're gonna have it out by what are you doing Friday? We'll talk about it. Anyways.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to talk about? What do you think of this episode, like as a whole?
Like where would I rate it with the other 3?
Yeah.
It's probably top 2. Yeah, I mean the pilot was great, so that's going to be my number 1. Yeah, probably this would be second. Either it tied with episode 2 in this one. So
I agree.
Yeah, it was really good.
I'm excited for episode 5. Anyways, folks.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think of episode 4. What's it called again? Hold My Hand, or
Please hold my hand.
Please hold my hand. Let us know what you think. Let us know if you enjoying this series, this show. And have you played the game? If so, do you have any issues with them doing all these changes? I don't, because I think it's great. It's great for the show. And Dave doesn't know it. Yeah, Dave doesn't know any better. He never played a game, and so he has no idea what the game is. But let us know, comment down below, and let us know if you what you think of the show. Don't forget, the episode 5 comes out Friday, so mark your calendar. Until next time, be kind.